Okay, so here we are. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all well. If you give us a quick second, I'm just going to get my actual stream up on my phone so I can see what's going on, so I don't miss any questions. Just for routine and housekeeping, can everyone see me? Can everyone hear me? Just let us know in the comments if you're joining us, and let us know who's going to be here so I know who I'm talking to rather than just, well, myself. So Great North Run, my GNR. Mental. I just said it on my Instagram that when I was making the video leading up to this, it was absolutely crazy to see my film on screen, and it was just crazy overall. I'm glad folk enjoyed it. If there was a particular bit, let us know what bit it was that you enjoyed. I think for the next half an hour, I'm just going to answer or just talk about the film in general. And then if there's any questions about the film, if there's any, fire away. I'll happily answer them. If it's like filmmaking or camera or kit or how to plan a film, I'm probably not the best person to ask, but I can certainly forward the kind of advice I've picked up and taken on board when I've been making my GNR. And yes, if you have noticed, my voice is ropey as I am coming down with a bout of man flu. So if my voice does suddenly go midstream, you've got the warning, just in case. But I should be all right. It might be a cough or splutter or two. I'll try and divert it that way. In other words, Jeffrey, good evening. How are you, mate? I hope you're keeping well. I hope South Africa is treating you well. It's been a while since I've seen you on YouTube, buddy. Are you keeping all right? Here we are running. Chris, you were there in the commentary. It was great. I'm really glad you enjoyed the film. It's just crazy. It's just crazy how a little idea on a piece of paper has now come to this, and that's all it was. The start of it was just me figuring out what I want to do with the channel. I think it was on Chris's channel when we did a collaboration. I think it was 5 questions with Hero Running, aka Chris, and he asked the future of the YouTube channel, and I did say I want to make movie/film-esque movies for the channel. And as soon as I said that, it's kind of like a little light bulb went off, and thought, why not make a film? And I was toying with the idea of making the film, and I was thinking of pros and cons. Pros, I get to film, I get to run, and it'll be for longer than 5 or 6 minutes, which would be great. No one's really done a Great North Run film before, or a documentary, or run-umentaries, I call it. No one's really done it. So I thought, why not give it a go? So in April, I'd started asking around on LinkedIn if there's any people I could talk to, and I was reading articles and in my spare time of how to make a low budget film, because that's all it was. It was me and a camera, and that's it. There's no way I could afford like rigs and hire staff and stuff like that. It was just me and penning down some concepts and how I would structure the film. And there was challenging aspects of it, no questions. I think the first real hurdle was, how on earth was I going to carry a DSLR around 13.1 miles? And I've tried it, and it's bloody hard. I tell you that for now. So what I did is, at the end of last year, I bought myself a little action camera, a cheap action camera. It's done well. You would have seen it on the Great North Run scenes when I was out running with it as well. And that came in handy so much, because I just couldn't think of carrying a DSLR in a very busy place like that. And because I didn't know then I'd be in a VIP spot, I wouldn't have anyone to hand it off to. I'd have to carry it. So that was the first hurdle, and I overcome it by the action camera, and it was magical, fantastic. Another hurdle was collecting B-roll. I haven't added it all up, but there was definitely more. I think me and Stephen, the guy who was giving me massages for Max Sports Therapy, I think he was spawning about at least 20 to 30 hours worth of footage I've banked from my GNR. And I haven't used it. What you see in there was I think it was a third draft of the film when I put it together. I had a different intro, I had a different ending. The middle was completely different. I just wasn't happy. So that was tough. That was the B-roll, collecting the amount of B-roll, different angles, the reshoots. That was another hurdle. But let's see what's going on in the chat, because I can just see the what's going on, Jeffrey. Yeah, it's been a while. Update video, brilliant. Let us know, mate. I'll catch up with you on that one, Jeffrey. Kyle, loved it, mate. The honesty was great. Kyle, thank you very much for watching. I know I've been having a bit of a chin wag over Facebook and talking on here as well. Fantastic. So glad you enjoyed the film. 40 runs. Sorry I'm late. You better be. You were there about 50 minutes ago. No excuse, 40. Good job. I love you. And that's it. So, any questions while I just ramble on? No pun intended. So, yeah, I mean, the B-roll was tough. I think overall, if I had to stamp something on, a really tough barrier was editing. It was getting everything that I filmed and then popping it in the video editing suite and trying to whittle it down from, initially it was 2 hours worth of a film, and then I had to try and whittle it down into, originally it was going to be 20 minutes, and that went to 30 minutes, and then it went up to 39 minutes. Because the start I had, when I was showing it to different people to get their opinion, I think it was safe to say they didn't like it. And that's, I wasn't really offended. They just said that it needed to be fresher. It needed to have some more B-roll of possibly me as a kid with like video footage. And I didn't have a lot of video footage as me as a kid. There's like one VHS tape of me as a baby playing with a golf set. And I didn't really want to try and convert it to a DVD in case it got ruined, because it's got of like a lot of family that have passed away recently, and I didn't want to take the risk of losing that memory. So I scrapped that, and I just went for a brand new intro, and that was the intro for my very first Great North Run. And yeah, it was just, I think just trying to remember to take the camera out was the hardest point as well. Because when you've seen the film, I did struggle mentally in terms of trying to get out and run and try to train, and I just couldn't get myself out. There's points where I would say I'll go for a run, and I didn't. And it was the case of literally put my shoes on and just force myself to get out and see what happens, even if it was just for a mile. You know what I mean? And it was just, yeah, putting it together, trying to tell a good story and try and keep it interesting. There's parts in it which I wish I'd done better when I've watched it back now. But that's always a good thing, I suppose, when you make a film and or make any kind of video, is you'll watch it back and there's always something you can take away from it. But big shout out to Colin, by the way. How about that? You know what I mean? He was kind enough to donate his time to do it, an interview with Moncton Stadium. And it was the first time he'd been to Moncton Stadium since he gave up athletics. And I tried to capture his first reaction. And my camera ISO it just bumped up to the highest ISO level it could, and it just totally wiped it out, Colin. So I've got the recording of him saying, "Wow, this is amazing," but the footage is rubbish, by the way. So I didn't use that, and I was gutted. But his time at Moncton Stadium was just mental to see how many memories came flooding back, and then for him to just talk and show his passion about Great North Run, and then after the Great North Run, to like say, or even before the Great North Run, when I spoke to 40 about when we made the podcast, I've got a pass for you. Come find us at the start line, get yourself in the VIP at the front, and we'll see you there. I just couldn't believe it. It was just, it was surreal, put it that way. And during the I think after I met 40, I didn't really admit it in the videos. I was tempted to just like run a couple of miles and just sack it off a little bit. But then when Colin gave us the wristband, it was like you can only really claim it unless you finish the run. So I was like, all right, so if I need to experience this, I actually need to finish the Great North Run. Right now, I've got another reason to finish it now. So that was a reason to get round in one piece. And even though I walked bits and pieces and drunk in the ice pops and the atmosphere, I got round, and it was just an amazing experience to just sit and just see all the celebs just crack on, and all the food. The food was unbelievable, and it was just crazy. But the original plan overall for the film was to have it out by within the week of the Great North Run. And had I known the task then, as I did now, that wasn't a smart decision at all. I tried to edit it on my week off from work, and I literally got, I think, 3 minutes into the editing, and I had enough already. And then I just kind of like done bits and pieces. Then it came to November, and I kind of just almost pied it off. I almost chucked it in, and it was someone at work who was like, "I'm really looking forward to seeing your film," and I was like, "I don't know if I'm going to do it anymore." And they were like, "Well, why not? Why not do the film? I mean, what's the problem?" And I hadn't looked at my editing suite for 3 weeks now, and I opened it up, and it was just one of those things where I'd imagine this is what an artist is like when they haven't painted or drawn for a while. They just draw, and it just clicks, and that's what it did for me. It just clicked, and it was just, I made progress. I started from scratch, so I had like an hour's worth of footage already banked from a version 1. I scrapped that and started it again, and day by day, weekend by weekend, I just added to it. And then when it came to my birthday, which was it's just gone on the 29th, I had a party the night before. Excuse me. And I sat here on my birthday for about 6 hours, and I edited the film right through until I was happy with it. And people might think it's a bit sad, but you know, celebrating the night before kind of took the edge of the birthday a little bit, and it's something I enjoy. It's something that I enjoy doing. So it didn't really bother me to just sit and edit stuff. And I did spend time with Emma and the dog eventually. I was just, once the editing was done, I was happy with it. And I gave a couple of runners a sneak preview of it to see what they think. And the feedback was incredible. It's people like Andy and Fordy, and I sent it to Katie, and I sent it to Colin as well, and a couple of others. And I trust them to give me positive or critical feedback. And the fact that they said it's a brilliant piece of work and there's nothing wrong with it gave me so much encouragement. It was ridiculous. So I don't mean to sound like pretentious or sound like I'm talking about, because I really don't. Because going into this, I had absolutely zero filmmaking experience. Zero. None. All you've seen me do, if you've been following the channel for a while, is just me picking up a camera and doing everything naturally. So the editing, the shots, the scripting, it's just all natural. And I was just proud of how I just picked things up and just made it look decent. And that was just crazy. I'm just going to jump back out of the comments, see if anyone's commented. Happy belated birthday. Thanks very much, Jeffrey. It was incredible. Well, Colin, you made the Great North Run. You do it year in, year out, and I'm gutted that next year, or this year rather, it's going to be your last one. So we have to do something special for it, right, Colin? Just saying. 40. What's next? I may have just hinted to what's next with Colin. We'll not say too much, but it does involve Colin. The podcast mainly. There's a podcast episode coming out hopefully by this weekend. It's with a lovely young lady called Charlotte Proud, who I recorded with last year. It's so crazy how it's 2019. We recorded in the first week of December, and just her story, what she's been through and what she's doing now. Incredible story. So that'll go out hopefully this weekend. I need to edit it, but I'm taking a break from the editing this week because I've been looking at it for the past 6-7 days for about 3 or 4 hours straight. I'm exhausted. Chris, it looked like it took you a lot of effort to make the film, but how much time would you say spent? Overall, I started filming in June. Blade and Races was the first day of shoot, and I didn't put the editing suite down until really December. So 6 months in the making, if that answers your question, Chris. It took a while. I mean, I was spending a lot of time on Final Cut Pro just trying to make things click and tweak, and it just it took some going, but about 6 months overall it took. 7 if you include planning, which it took a long time, but I wouldn't change it for the world. If someone said don't do a film, or would you ever do it again, I 100% would do it again, because it was just through all the stresses, through all the anxieties, and the flourish of last minute ideas before I was going to bed, and what can I do to make it different. I'd do it all over again, without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. Big dress. I have plans. Lean Warrior Lifestyle. Mate, it has been a very long time. I hope you're keeping well, buddy. Go and watch it. It's available now. So after this is finished, go and watch it. It's a good little film. If I do say so myself. The podcast. Also, want to check out the podcast. Not just start my own this month. Send me a DM then, or tweet me with your podcast, and I'll have a listen, and I'll give it a bit of a promotion as well. Andy from Sedin Runner. Good evening, fella. How are you? Yeah. So yeah, I am trying to float between one and the other. Yeah, it has been a while since I've done one of these streams, but yeah, I can't really say too much on the Colin one, but we have been throwing an idea around, something to do with this year's Great North Run, but I don't want to say too much. I don't want to make false promises in case I say something and then nothing goes ahead, if you know what I mean. Brilliant. Yes, making a YouTube comeback and getting ready for a 10K in February. Fantastic news. Can't wait for that one. Just send me links, and I'll watch it and see what I think. If there's anything more, I might just start wrapping it up. If there's any last minute questions about the film, or any suggestions of what they would do differently in the film, because I'm always open to stuff like this. I'm not really into, like, I'm not really want to shelve away criticism or feedback. I'm quite open to it, in fact. So I might just start wrapping up the live stream for that. I did only plan for about half an hour, 20-25 minutes, half an hour, just basically because of the voice, and I've kept it long enough. If you watched it on YouTube Premiere, which was amazing, by the way, that's the first time I've used it. That was incredible. The countdown, how professional was that? It was mint. I definitely got butterflies during the when I tuned in, because I was having my tea at the point where it dropped about 1 minute to go, and I was having my tea, and I didn't half race upstairs to watch it with everyone else. Excuse me, but it was incredible. Spot on, well done again. Shares 40. I'll watch a Great North Run after this. Brilliant, Jeffrey. Thank you very much. So what I think I'll wrap up with is the podcast. So I think the podcast, I did it in the 2018 highlights one, the Christmas Day special with KTG Online. Podcast exploded, absolutely exploded. I have blown away with how many people have been listening to it and how many people have been giving us nice feedback with it. The plan is to keep it going. So you would have seen the interviews from Colin right through to the end of the year. It all kicked off with Colin, and I finished with Katie for 2018. 2019, I've already shaped up with a couple of interviews. So I mentioned Charlotte, her episode goes live, fingers crossed, this weekend. And then I'm off to the National Running Show to do a podcast there, a very special podcast. We've got like Claire, Wild Ginger Films, she's coming on. Forest Dean Runner, he's agreed to come on as well. So I'm excited to try and hold the microphone up here. I would assume that's how I'll have to hold it, because I've seen and heard how tall Andy is. So that's exciting. And then I'm not going to say too much with guests, but I'm trying to get a couple of crackers. Hopefully they're watching this and they want to come on. And I have put a suggestion list on my Twitter profile to suggest who people want to listen to or who people want to hear from. I have tried to contact Ginger Runner. Still waiting to hear back. Maybe he can come on. I'm getting my fingers crossed. I'm trying not to big it up too much, but it would be great to have Ginger Runner on. So hopefully he's watching this, or someone's shown him this little clip and they've shown him the film, and maybe he can come on. I'm hoping. I'm just grasping at straws here, but if not, I have other guests in the pipeline, with it being once a month. But so thank you to everyone who's been listening to the podcast, whether it's out on your run or in the car or out for a walk or just even at work. I mean, even though you probably shouldn't be listening, thank you very much. I'll just quickly check any more questions, and if there's no more questions, cheers, Connors, brutally real and honest. Thank you very much. I did try to capture a real essence of the Great North Run. You've seen it. There's no fluff with some of the training. You may need a ladder. Probably need a ladder. I might just be tall enough. If not, I'm pretty sure I can probably get Andy to sit down so we can have a level peg and talk. But I'm excited for that one. Peter, the guy that you've seen run through with me, the Durham City 10K, I've completely forgot to mention this. He ran with me in Kielder, and I mentioned the film along the lines of, I'd never want to experience negativity like that ever again. It hit me slap bang in the face for Kielder Marathon about a month later, and Peter, who ran with me through Durham, he dragged me through Kielder. So thank you very much, Peter. It does mean a lot. And the Haribos were a lifesaver, by the way. What about that dude from Run Experience that Andy knows? Yeah, I've been talking with 40 about this. I'm still waiting to hear back. Not so much hear back. I haven't even bloody emailed them what am I talking about. That's another guest. I haven't emailed them. I need to get around and email them. So if Andy or Steve Runner's watching this, can you hook me up? That would be fantastic. If you could, just drop us a WhatsApp if you know him. That would be fantastic. Just want to thank you, mate. You really helped me a lot on YouTube and music. But that's from Lean Warrior Lifestyle, mate. Honestly, we're all in this together. I know that with some YouTubers, I mean, support can go off and on a little bit, and it's no fault of anyone else's. I mean, some channels work, some channels don't. I'm a big fan of people who want to make a change. And if I'm happy enough to support yourself, then great. I think you're close to 100 subscribers as well, so hopefully we'll get you over 100, if not, if you haven't done already. We should just cover the podcast Spotify. So yes, getting Chris, that's what I'm like to hear, lad. Check out the one with Ali. That's a good one. They've all been good, to be fair, but the Ali one it's one of my personal favourites. They're all my favourites, but that Ali one was just sitting listening to her talk about like being a pro athlete in the Olympics and going to the Commonwealth. Just amazing podcast. That'd be cool. Peter is a legend. Peter is a legend. He's my running partner. He's my partner in crime, along with the Team Tedious lads. So if they're watching, good evening, lads. Get to bed now. If you want interviews, I'm like myself and talk about running. Do you know what? That's an idea. That I think that's a cracking idea. If you've got me on Twitter or on Instagram, just drop me a DM, and we'll have a bit of a chin wag and see if we can sort it out. That'd be interesting. And if that is that, then I think that'll about do it. I think I've overstayed my welcome. I think I've had enough of you. I think I've hogged your time enough with the film and the premiere. Again, thank you so much for watching. It's there to watch now, and I put it on my social media channels. And incredible. Hopefully, we'll have some form of announcement with the next project. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But thank you again for watching. Thank you again for tuning in for the live stream. And I'll see you later. Cheers, guys.